I just did something that no racing car driver should ever do. But at the same time, it's actually crucial for me to secure the funding that I need to race next year. I just added up every single dollar that I spent running in the 2025 Hankook Australian Drivers' Championship, and it was not what I expected. If you're wondering how a regular guy like me got into this, well, I did get a little bit lucky. I did manage to land myself a job working at Hyperracer, the manufacturer of the spec car that races in the ADC, where I spent around a year building these amazing race cars and learning how they work. It was only a couple of years prior where I bought my first go-kart after watching Drive to Survive for the first time. With the position that I was in, I got the opportunity to build my own X1, which I documented the entire process right here on this YouTube channel. I then went on to drive in the 2025 Hankook Australian Drivers' Championship, and this video breaks down the full financial cost to run in that series. Now, a big part of the reason that I even bothered to go racing in the first place is that the rules and regulations in the ADC are structured to level the playing field amongst the entire grid. For instance, tyre allocation was limited to 3 sets for all 6 rounds, meaning I could still be competitive while only having to buy 3 sets of tyres for the year. For reference, most Formula Championships run around 5 sets of tyres for a whole weekend, and it's a big part of the reason why Formula 3 no longer exists in Australia. The budget simply dried up. And with the Hyperracer X1 weighing in at only 430 kilos, a set of tyres was able to last me 2 race weekends plus 2 days of solid testing. Now, why does this matter? Well, before we dig into adding up the full cost of the season, I have an official quote here for a team in Australia to run in the AU4 Championship across 5 rounds, which came in at a staggering $250,000. And that only gets you 5 rounds and a couple of days of testing. Now, the car that I drive is faster, it's more fun, it has grid sizes of 20 plus cars at all 6 rounds throughout the championship, and I won't spoil the number, but it costs a shit ton less. So to break down the numbers, I've come up with a few categories that we're going to go through: consumables, damages, championship costs, transport and accommodation, testing, and one that you may not have expected: income. I'm going to break down the costs involved with each of these categories and then combine them at the end, as well as show you how competing in a championship like this can actually bring some money in to help cover the costs. So let's get stuck into it. Now, before we get into each of the items in each of these categories, all of these items are what went into 6 race weekends, which are all 3-day events, as well as 6 individual test days that I did throughout the year at Winton Motor Raceway. Getting into consumables, we had 3 sets of Hankook super soft tires that we used for all of the races, as well as most of the testing, as well as a used set of Giddy tires that I purchased at the start of the year to complete the pre-season testing so that I could save the Hankook tires for the racing. The used set of Giddy tires I got for $1,000, and the 3 Hankook slicks added up to $6,900 for a total tire budget for the year of $7,900. Halfway through the year, I replaced a set of brake pads on the front axle, and then towards the end of the year, the rear pads were done and ended up using 2 full sets of brake pads, totaling $600 for the year. The car runs on regular 98 octane pump fuel, which for a test day, I only needed to fill up 40 litres and bring it to the track, and a race weekend 60 litres, totaling $1,134 of fuel for the whole year. Engine oil I had to replace 4 times throughout the year, totaling $380. Now, chain replacements is a funny one because I ended up replacing the chain 3 times, totaling $750, which is a pretty large expense. But what we've done since then is actually introduced a cush drive system, which puts the rear sprocket on polyurethane rubbers to dampen that load. And what we've seen since then is a drastic decrease in chain wear, meaning now we only need to replace a chain a year. But for the sake of the video, I'll add the 3 in there. Now, I also replaced 2 drive shafts at round 5, which totaled $680, bringing my total consumable bill for the year to $10,390, most of which was obviously just tires. Next up, we unfortunately have damages. I actually did pretty well this year. I rode off one front wing and twisted my aluminium nose box a couple of times, but the worst one was snapping the carbon fiber under tray or the floor of the car twice, which happens when you spin off the track and go through some kind of gravel or sand trap. and the floor of the car can actually fold under and snap off. For the front wing, you can buy all the individual parts for the front wing from Hyperacer, which totaled $2,800 unpainted, which I then painted myself. There was an additional nose box repair which cost $50, which is simply cutting out the threaded studs and re-welding them into the jig so that they're all fixed back into position. Each of the under tray repairs cost around $300 of materials, which I did the labor myself. This is just carbon, glass, resin, and a whole bunch of labor, unfortunately. So the total damages bill for the year was $3,450. Ouch. Championship cost was a pretty easy one to add up. We ran 2 different events throughout the year. The first one being the High-Tech Super Series, which cost around $1,034 to enter each round. And the VMRC rounds, which are a much smaller, not televised event, which cost $804 to enter per round. We did 3 of each of these, which totaled $5,512 for entry fees. These entry fees also included the transponder hire, which was $60 per round, but another cost was my national race license, which costs $580 annually. There was also a one-off vehicle passport fee of $120, which is kind of like the logbook for the car. This brought my total championship cost for the year to $6,214. Then we did testing. To enter a test and tune Friday at Winton is $275, and there aren't really any other costs for this because all of the consumables that I already mentioned cover this testing, and the tires that we used in the racing were then used in testing, which was still capable of doing low 21s around Winton. So for 6 days of testing, I paid $1,650. Now, obviously this is really cheap for 6 days of testing, but the reason it's so cheap is that I'm able to run the car myself, and this is what the car is designed to do. All you really need to do is put fuel in the car, turn it around, check the chain, check that there's oil in it, tire pressures, all that kind of stuff. Now, next we had accommodation and travel. Now, this is what would normally blow someone's motorsport budget out the window. Most race cars require a full team of mechanics and staff to run them, and you've got to get them to the track and house them as well. But for me, well, it's just me. All I need to do is split an Airbnb with 5 people, which I ended up spending $250 per round on accommodation. And fuel, I added up a total cost of $621 of diesel fuel, which I used to tow my single axle trailer to each of the tracks around Australia. Now, food for race weekends, I only had to feed myself, obviously, but for 6 test days and 6 rounds, I estimated a total spend of $1,920, bringing this total to $3,741. And that brings my total spend for the 2025 Hankook Australian Drivers' Championship to $26,645. Now, that's not actually the final number though, because I decided to film everything and put it on YouTube. This meant that I was actually able to sell advertising space on these videos, which brought in a total of $7,000 for the year. Posting to YouTube in my first year also earned me AdSense of $1,963, which is crazy. So that would then bring my personal expenditure to $17,682, right? Wrong. Bang, the engine explodes at the final test day of the year, and now we need to build a new one, install it in the car, and shake it down. So how much did that cost? Well, let's go through it. Now, the engine itself, I scored a crazy deal for $3,500, and then we had to replace some internal components like the big end bearings, valve springs, things like that, and because the car was getting a birthday, it got spark plugs, oil filter, and a new air filter. Now, because the car caught on fire while this engine blew up, there were some more parts like a fuel hose, a brake line, and an idler sprocket bearing. Add in some new coolant and engine oil to complete the build, and the total cost for this repair came to $5,613. Obviously that doesn't include any labor because I did everything myself. So our new total is $32,258, and then if you include sponsorship, it's $23,295. Now, as I'm sure some of you will ask, because I was an employee of Hyperacer, these prices were all based on the recommended retail pricing from Hyperacer. Now, I did obviously receive a bit of a discount to help with my season from Hyperacer. However, this video aims to show you exactly what it actually costs to race in what I think is the best bang for buck series in the country. Now, sure, there's many things that you can race cheaper, but nowhere near as fast or fun as these cars. I don't know about you, but I wanted to race something that was fun, made me feel like I was driving a Formula 1 car, provided incredible racing, and didn't send me entirely broke. And this is it. Now, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next one.